Thank you. Please, take your seats. Well, anwyl gyfeillion a croeso mawr I Llangollen. What a joy it is to see you all here in beautiful North Wales, in Llangollen, my beautiful natural habitat. That's what it is. And it's great to see that you all made it here in time, especially with the 20-mile-an-hour speed limits that you've all had to endure on the way. Now listen, ladies and gentlemen, it really is a pleasure for me to be able to address this conference for the very first time as the leader of the Welsh Conservative cause here in Wales. I was not, thank you, I was not expecting to be in such a position just 6 months ago, but I was absolutely humbled by the unanimous support that I received from all of my Welsh Conservative colleagues in the Senedd to become leader of the opposition in the Welsh Parliament. And I've also been humbled since by the kind messages of support from members, activists and members of the public across the country too. It is the honour of a lifetime to lead the party I love here in Wales and to be your candidate to be the next First Minister of Wales. Thank you very much indeed. Now, before I go any further, I want to pay tribute to somebody, my predecessor, Andrew R.T. Davies. Because it was under Andrew's stewardship here in Wales that our party secured more seats than ever before at those last Senedd elections. And we owe him a debt of gratitude for his service to our party, the Welsh Parliament and our nation. Andrew, thank you. Now, Andrew left some very big shoes to fill, but I've got some doubly thick socks on today in order to make sure that I can fill them, because I want to build on Andrew's legacy as we approach those very important Senedd elections next year, because in the aftermath of a very bruising general election defeat and a challenging set of results in those local elections just over the border a couple of weeks ago, it's clear that we've got a lot of work to do to rebuild trust in our party's fortunes and to restore those fortunes in Wales and beyond. But it is essential that we do just that. Because under Labour, Wales is broken. Our NHS isn't working. Our school standards have plummeted. And our economy is struggling. And that's why we have embarked upon a national mission to fix Wales. Because we Welsh Conservatives are the only credible alternative to this clapped-out, lacklustre Labour government that has run this country into the ground, has run out of ideas and has run out of steam. And we've already, of course, announced a slew of policies to save taxpayers' money so that we can cut income tax and put hundreds of pounds into the pockets of hard-working families across the country, while continuing to invest in our NHS, our schools and our farming budgets. And during the course of today and tomorrow, we will be unveiling more of our proposals, our distinctly conservative solutions to the everyday problems that people face here in Wales. Because we are determined to fix Wales, inspire people, put hope in their hearts and give them optimism for the future. Now, yes, like you, I've seen the opinion polls. I saw the recent council election results in England. But let me tell you something. A bad opinion poll does not discourage me. No, it motivates me. It makes me work harder and it makes me fight harder for the things that I believe in. And I know that it does for you as well. I know that you're motivated by these things too. And it's not only hard work that will help us next year. We've also got some secret weapons that we can help to deploy to secure the results that we need. What are these secret weapons? Well, firstly, our political foes. Labour, Plaid, the Lib Dems and Reform. After 26 years of running Wales into the ground, and after just 12 months of Sir Keir Starmer and his mob in number 10, the Labour Party is on the ropes. People are crying out for change, but they will not get change from Plaid or the Liberal Democrats, because they've been propping the Labour Party up, passing their budgets and rubber-stamping their disastrous policies and legislation for the last quarter of a century. And why would anybody want to take a risk with reform? A party which has backed plans for more politicians in the Senedd and wants to see more powers transferred from Westminster to Cardiff Bay. A limited company with a stated aim simply to lead the opposition in Wales, not to be in government, and which doesn't have any policies on matters for which the Senedd is responsible. They don't even have a candidate to be the next First Minister. That's not my ambition, to be in opposition, to lead the opposition. I want to be your First Minister in Wales, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm going to work hard to get there. Not only do we have that secret weapon of our political enemies, but we have a great team too. I'm proud to lead a fantastic group of hard-working members of the Senedd. Give them a round of applause, please. And we have an outstanding shadow Wales office duo in Westminster, in Mims Davis and Olivia Bloomfield too. Give them a round of applause. And on top of that, we have some hard-working, determined councillors grafting away in their communities the length and breadth of this country, in town halls and in our county calls. And on top of all of those councillors, we have you, our members, volunteers and activists across Wales, helping us to communicate our messages on the doors, on the phones and on social media. Give yourselves and our councillors a round of applause. You deserve it. So we have our political opponents, and we have a great team. They're two of our secret weapons. What is the third secret weapon, I hear you all asking inside your heads? Well, it is this. We have a set of values that underpin absolutely everything that we do. Friends, I was born into a hard-working, working-class family. My parents taught me about the value of hard work, how to spend within your means, never letting things go to waste, and getting value for money for every single pound that you spend. They were Labour voters until they realised, until they had an epiphany, that the party that really stood for their values was our great Conservative Party. And it is those values that hold just as true today as they did when I was growing up in Tywyn on the North Wales coast. And it is these values that will underpin a future Welsh Conservative government. Because amongst other things, we are pro-freedom, we are pro-choice, we are pro-personal responsibility, we are pro-business, we're pro-home ownership, we're pro-low taxes, we're pro-families, we're pro our armed forces, and we are pro-law and order. And we are pro-farming, pro-tourism, and pro-roads, not just cycle paths. But most of all, ladies and gentlemen, we are pro-Wales and we are pro-the United Kingdom. Because we are not just Welsh Conservatives. We are the Conservative and Unionist Party. And we believe that Wales is better in the United Kingdom, and that the United Kingdom is better because Wales is part of it. These are just some of the values that we share and we all have in common. And they are shaping our distinctly Conservative policy platform in the run-up to those all-important elections next year. And they will help us to fix Wales. Ladies and gentlemen, I joined the Conservative Party when I was 15 years old. That was just 3 years ago. And I was inspired to do so because of the legacy of Margaret Thatcher, the greatest Prime Minister of my lifetime. She inherited a nation from Labour that was on its knees. Britain was the sick man of Europe. Our public finances were broken. A Labour government led by the unions for the unions had delivered record-high tax rates, failing public services, rubbish on the streets, and inefficient nationalised companies that were a drain on the taxpayer. Now, if any of that sounds familiar, it should, because that's precisely where Wales under Labour is at right now. But the good news is we can offer some hope to the people of Wales, because a decade after Margaret Thatcher took the reins, with her strong and principled leadership, our economy prospered, income taxes were slashed, and millions of people became homeowners in a home-owning democracy. And not only that, but there was record investment in our public services too. Here in North Wales, we saw the opening of 2 state-of-the-art district general hospitals, Ysbyty Gwynedd and Ysbyty Llangollen. And there was massive investment in our roads infrastructure across the United Kingdom, including on the A55 expressway. Her policies were so popular that they were copied the world over. And her decisive leadership, on top of all of this, ensured the liberation of the Falkland Islands in the face of an Argentine invasion. And our Iron Lady, along with Ronald Reagan and Pope John Paul II, stood up and they won the battle of ideas, fighting for our Judeo-Christian values to help bring down the Iron Curtain and communism in Eastern Europe. So, friends, it should come as no surprise that the refrain on everybody's lips across the country who experienced that transformative government of Margaret Thatcher in the 1980s, that the cry that comes from their mouths is, "We need another Maggie." Well, I'm pleased to say that we've got one, because it's my pleasure to be able to introduce you to her today. Kemi Badenoch is a woman of principle. In an age where truth is blurred and courage is often compromised, she has always stood firm. When others sway in the shifting winds of public opinion, she holds fast to her beliefs and our conservative ideals. Kemi speaks not to win applause, but to bear witness to what she believes is right. She is a champion of freedom, and she's a champion of liberty. She has the moral clarity that speaks not just to conservatives, but to people of faith, to people of conviction, and people who care about the future of our nation. And Kemi Badenoch does not retreat in the face of criticism. She doesn't soften her message to suit the mood of the day. She has endured appalling personal attacks, and yet she remains undaunted. And that kind of fearlessness is rare, and it deserves not just our respect, but our support too. So this morning, conference, I invite you not just to listen to a politician, but to hear from a woman of conviction, someone who is leading us on a mission to renew our party across the United Kingdom, and who represents the very best of our party's future. So, ladies and gentlemen, please be upstanding to give a very warm Welsh welcome to the leader of the Conservative and Unionist Party, the Right Honourable Kemi Badenoch.